So, folks, if I were to pitch you on an idea, I have invented an incredible new technology that will spur us far into the future. Now, what this technology does is it provides basic answers to a variety of questions. However, none of the information it gives you is at all reliable. And not only is it not reliable, if you continue to engage with it for prolonged periods of time, it will drive you insane, up to and including killing your loved ones and yourself. And not only that, what if I told you you could integrate all of that wonderful technology into your military industrial complex to create autonomous drones that will make decisions about what to fire on, all on their own? What if we put the suicide lying machine spirit into robots capable of killing human beings? That's the one thing this all lacks, isn't it? And not only that, what if we also gave it the ability to do mass surveillance on a scale previously thought impossible? So now, not only can it be wrong about casual information about, like, how many strawberries are in a group of 5 strawberries, it can now be wrong about whether or not to shoot a child with a balloon. I wish I could say that this didn't sound like an attractive pitch to the United States government, but apparently it seems like a really attractive pitch to the United States government. Basically, the Pentagon had a showdown with Anthropic, which was previously the company contracted to provide AI services to the United States military. And Anthropic's red line was that it did not want its technology to facilitate mass surveillance of the American people, and it did not want its AI to be powering autonomous war drones. And, well, the Pentagon said, well, if you won't, then we're going to burn your company to the ground. And now Donald Trump has ordered US agencies to stop using Anthropic technology. And let's see here. President Donald Trump, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and other officials took to social media to chastise Anthropic for failing to allow the military unrestricted use of its AI technology by a Friday deadline, accusing it of endangering national security after CEO Dario Amodei refused to back down over concerns the company's products could be used in ways that would violate its safeguards. We don't need it, we don't want it, we will not do business with them again, Donald Trump said on social media. Also, can I just say, I'm very impressed that a guy who looks like he completely lacks a spine actually demonstrated a spine. As Dario Amodei, right there. And you know what? Pleasantly surprised by this man. I still hate Anthropic, but you know what? Pleasantly surprised. The government's effort to assert dominance over the internal decision-making of the company comes amid a wider clash over AI's role in national security concerns. Huh! Well, that's interesting. I wonder what that means. Let's see. Oh, by the way, when Donald Trump says, no one will do business with Anthropic, he means any company that currently has a contract with the US government, if they want to keep that contract, is prohibited from doing business with Anthropic. So it is a big blow to Anthropic to be ostracized like this. It is a meaningful impact on their business. Okay? And as a result, I just want to direct you guys to this post by Dean W. Ball, which sounds like a fake name, but I assure you it's all too real. Nvidia, Amazon, Google will have to divest from Anthropic if Hegseth gets his way. This is simply attempted corporate murder. I could not possibly recommend investing in American AI to any investor. I could not possibly recommend starting an AI company in the United States. which is interesting considering that Dean W. Ball is also the guy who wrote Donald Trump's entire AI plan. Dean W. Ball is Donald Trump's AI guy. Okay? And things are rapidly deteriorating from there. But also, just wanted to throw this out here. It's a shame that Dario Amadei is a liar and has a god complex. He wants nothing more than to try to personally control the US military and is okay putting our nation's safety at risk. The Department of War will always adhere to the law and not bend to the whims of any one for-profit tech company, says the Undersecretary of War for the war machine that just bombed a school with 150 children dead as a result. When has the United States military ever broken the law? Like, are you fucking serious right now? As we all know, the US military always follows the law. Like, do you think we're babies that lack object permanence? Also, if you thought, well, I'm glad our nation doesn't have the ability to build an AI-powered surveillance system for every US citizen, as well as autonomous kill bots. Don't you worry. Sam Altman is here to disabuse you of that notion. Tonight, we reached an agreement with the Department of War to deploy our models in their classified network. In all of our interactions, the Department of War displayed a deep respect for safety and a desire to partner to achieve the best possible outcome. AI safety and wide distribution of beliefs are a core of our mission. Two of our most important safety principles are prohibitions on domestic mass surveillance and human responsibility for the use of force, including for autonomous weapon systems. The DOW agrees with those principles, reflects them in law and policy, and we put them into our agreement. We also will build technical safeguards to ensure our models behave as they should, which the Department of War also wanted. We will deploy FDEs to help with our models and ensure their safety. We will deploy on cloud networks only. We are asking the Department of War to offer these same terms to all AI companies, which, in our opinion, we think everyone should be willing to accept. We have expressed our strong desire to see things de-escalate away from legal and governmental actions and towards reasonable agreements. We remain committed to serve all of humanity as best we can. The world is a complicated, messy, and sometimes dangerous place. Wait, Sam, that's what they just burned Anthropic for? Yeah, so basically, within the span of 24 hours, Sam Altman stepped in and was like, hey, what if you guys partnered with us and we'll definitely have all of the same safeguards Anthropic had? Obviously, people do not trust Sam Altman to not immediately create backdoors or abilities for the Department of War to get around any of these safeguards, to create all of the things they wanted to create that Anthropic said, no, absolutely not. So, like, I just want to say that, of course, Sam Altman is not being 100% truthful here, right? So, what ended up happening is that OpenAI did in fact reach an agreement with the Pentagon here. And, well, it did spur a lot of other AI companies to say, we all have red lines, we're not going to cross too. We at Google believe in having red lines that make sure we aren't building death robots that can kill everybody. And I just wanted to say, that's good. It's good for companies to be publicly saying, we won't build the death robots, of course. But also, just want to point out here that perhaps Sam Altman knew that he was full of shit on this one and really wanted to convince everyone that he wasn't the bad guy. So, of course, he went on Twitter to do an Ask Me Anything. 3 general things from this AMA. One, there's more open debate than I thought there would be, at least in this part of Twitter, about whether we should prefer a democratically elected government or unelected private companies to have more power. I guess this is something people disagree on, but I don't. This seems like an important area for more discussion. Two, I think the is a question behind a lot of the questions, but I haven't seen quite articulated. What happens if the government tries to nationalize OpenAI or other AI efforts? I obviously don't know. I have thought about it, of course. It has seemed to be for a long time. It might be better if it might be better if building AGI were a government project, but it doesn't seem super likely on the current trajectory. That said, I do think a close partnership between governments and the companies building this technology is super important. Three, people take their safety in the national security sense more for granted than I realized, which I think is a good thing on balance, but I don't think shows enough respect to the tremendous work it takes for that to happen. Also, I'm on the whole very grateful for the level of reasonable and good faith engagement here. It was not what I expected. And I just, one, it's telling that the largest section of this, filled with the most stutters, is the second one where he's nervously typing about OpenAI being nationalized. Which I would like to point out, if OpenAI was to be nationalized, the safeguards that he was promised would not have to be implemented because the government would be running the company and therefore no safeguards would be legitimated. So, just as an FYI, if the argument is, well, Sam Altman just got a great deal that wasn't given to Anthropic, any kind of rejoicing on that level really seems to be undercut by the fact that, one, Sam Altman thought he came across as being so full of shit on this point that he had to do an AMA, and also that he ended said AMA by nervously typing about how OpenAI could be nationalized. I want to point out that while that would result in a lot of money, I'm sure, going towards Sam Altman,
he probably used speech to text that would explain the stutters at least.
Maybe. I don't think so. The reason I say that is because some of the typos are not indicative of text to speech. Or speech to text, rather. Like, there up here is spelled THER space EWOULD. There Ewald. Which I don't think is tech. I don't think it's speech to text. I think he's just nervously fumble fingering it, you know? So, yeah. Also, their safeguards for OpenAI are, I just want to reiterate here, according to Sam Altman, we will deploy on cloud networks only. I don't believe him. I don't believe him one bit. I don't believe that the US military is going to say, "Oh yeah, no, you can just deploy on the cloud, that's fine." And also, just want to throw out there real quick two things. Well, three things, I guess. Here is the stated agreement between OpenAI and the US Department of War. This language makes explicit that our tools will not be used to conduct domestic surveillance of US persons, including through the procurement or use of commercially acquired personal or identifiable information. The department also affirmed that our services will not be used by the Department of War intelligence agencies like the NSA. Any services to those agencies would require a new agreement. Oh, well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you have to make another contractual agreement with the NSA in order to rat on all of us. Okay. The new language reads, consistent with applicable laws, including the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution, National Security Act of 1947, FISA Act of 1978, the AI system shall not be intentionally used for domestic surveillance of US persons and nationals. Now, I will note here, that is some interesting language. the AI system shall not be intentionally used for government domestic surveillance. And I want to say that's interesting to me because I feel like they would make the distinction between intentional surveillance and incidental surveillance. I.e., well, we just cast a huge net and we had all of this data. We weren't spying on any one of you intentionally. We just had all of your data. And whoops, we tripped and now it all looks like files related to each and every one of you. Yeah, there looks like a lot of whoopsies coming. Exactly. Exactly. We got a whole lot of whoopsies.
Whoopsie.
It's going to be gross. It's already gross. Let's be fair. For the avoidance of doubt, the department understands this limitation to prohibit deliberate tracking, surveillance, again, deliberate tracking, surveillance, or monitoring of U.S. persons or nationals, including through the procurement, or use of commercially acquired personal or identifiable information. And again, I want to reiterate, deliberate, I feel like, is the hinge term here. The hinge term. The Department of War plans to convene a working group made up of leaders from frontier AI labs, cloud providers, and department's policy and operational communities. OpenAI will participate and expect this will be an important forum for ongoing dialogue on emerging AI capabilities, privacy, and national security challenges going forward. These updates build on the framework we announced last week, and we hope will help create a pathway for other labs to work with the department going forward. So, no use of OpenAI technology for mass domestic surveillance, no use of OpenAI technology to direct autonomous weapon systems, no use of OpenAI technology for high-stakes automated decisions, e.g. systems such as social credit. And, I just have to say, I don't believe this. Like, I do not believe them when they say their technology won't be used for that, when Anthropic was just burned for saying our technology won't be used for that. I just do not believe it. And yes, depraved ambiance, AGI is not going to happen. True. Now, I do want to point out one thing here, which is that a lot of this seems to boil down to nuclear weapon systems because Donald Trump and the Trump administration really want to include AI in our nuclear chain of command in order to respond to potential nuclear attack. So, one of the more important confrontations and one of the more important ideas here might in fact be that third element that OpenAI mentioned here. No use of OpenAI technology for high-stakes automated decisions. Now, they give the example of social credit. However, Semaphore and the Washington Post reported that in early December, Undersecretary of Defense for Research and Engineering, Emil Michael, asked Anthropic's Dario Amodei whether in a scenario where nuclear missiles were flying toward the US, the company would refuse to help its country due to Anthropic's prohibition on using its tech in conjunction with autonomous weapons. Administration sources say Michael was infuriated when Amodei said the Pentagon should reach out and check with Anthropic. Anthropic denies the story and says it was willing to create a carve-out for missile defense, but either way, the conversation poisoned relations between the two institutions. So, just to be clear, the initial breach between Anthropic and the Pentagon was on their willingness to allow the Pentagon to fully automate nuclear launch. So that's cool.
A strange game. The only winning move is not to play. How about a nice game of chess?
I understood that reference. Coder Joe, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs, and thank you for the reference. Yeah, and it really seems like Sam Altman stepped in and said, We'll do whatever you want. We'll put AI wherever you want in the nuclear weapons, sir. Yes, sir. We'll do it. And I think, again, the nervousness of his post concluding the AMA, to me, really indicates, especially considering his number 2 about the nationalization of OpenAI, indicates to me the US government might be planning to buy OpenAI, or just maybe not even buy it, just like straight up take it. Like eminent domain that shit. And incorporate nuclear weaponry, or AI into nuclear weaponry, rather. And yeah, that's terrifying. Yeah, we get war games, but for real now. And I just have to say one thing. Do you trust the US government that is so bad at coordinating itself already that you have Customs and Border Patrol, Customs and Border Protection flying a drone near like an airport's airspace, which results in a laser being shot to shoot down the drone, which results in the FAA shutting down air travel, which happened again. This isn't even the first time it happened. We have an emote in the chat of a laser shooting down a balloon, because the last time this happened, it was a balloon. A children's party balloon got shot down by a laser. And it shut that the FAA had to shut down airspace so that planes didn't get hit by laser fire. Okay? Like, that, we're living in the worst future, the stupidest future. We have lasers, and it's stupid as hell. The closure of airspace near the US-Mexico border for the second time over the use of lasers to shoot down drones is the latest evidence that some powerful government agencies seem to be at war with each other. On Thursday, the Federal Aviation Administration closed air travel over the small town of Fort Hancock, Texas, after soldiers fired a high-energy laser on a drone they deemed threatening. The drone was later determined to have been flown by Customs and Border Protection, a division of the Department of Homeland Security. A preliminary internal report on the incident said Customs and Border Protection had not notified the Defense Department it was launching a drone in the area. So, to the military, it was an unknown drone, a Pentagon official said, speaking on condition of anonymity. The FAA did not know the system would be used and had not authorized it. When it was, the FAA played the card it had used before. It shut down the airspace. Like, this is clown shit. And you trust these people to automate our nuclear weapons with AI that hallucinates so badly and manipulates so badly that people kill themselves over it? In what universe is this a good idea? Anyway, I wanted to conclude this by playing a clip that was posted originally by Chris Person, who writes for Aftermath.site, which you all should check out if you like worker co-ops and gaming news. This is from the 1992 movie Toys, starring Robin Williams.
You ever wonder why an airplane has to be a certain size? Because somebody has to get inside it, right?
Right.
What happens if you don't need a pilot? What happens if you just have remote control planes that carry deadly weapons? You saw it back there at the store. There were toy tanks, toy planes. Can you imagine what it'd be like if we perfected a toy-sized plane that had deadly fighting capabilities?
Little remote control planes.
Yes! You saw those kids back there at the arcade. Those kids have better hand-eye coordination than any pilot you'll ever see. Little children can fly remote control planes. Patrick, it's only the weaponry that's missing. Can you imagine the savings if we reduced the cost of planes, say, $450 million apiece down to $5,000? That's what I'm talking about. The military today, Pat, costs too much. I'm talking about a cheap military, an inexpensive military for the future. You can't eliminate the military, so you have to have a military you can afford. Little tanks, little planes, little helicopters. Toy-sized military with deadly fighting weapons. You give me $500 million, the cost of one stealth bomber, I'll give you 1 million toy-sized planes. And I guarantee you one thing, Pat, no one's gonna spot them on the radar screens. Hey, remember that kid flew a beach nut right into Red Square?
Yeah. This movie was written in 1979, and we just did it. We're just doing the thing. We got Call of Duty training kids up to be soldiers. We got, like ICE agents get the slap on the back and told it's just like Call of Duty. You got drone piloting looking like a goddamn video game. Every idea is a prophecy. Yeah. And not only that, like, now we're putting AI, we're cutting out the middleman entirely and putting AI into our nuclear weapons. It's so awful. Eisenhower did warn us about the military-industrial complex. Does the US Army still have their video game? They don't need it. Why should the US military put in the effort to develop a video game that's fun and popular with the youth when they can just use Call of Duty? All we need now are the child soldiers. But that's kind of what I'm saying, right? Like, Call of Duty is there to normalize that mindset and mentality, that frame, that worldview. You don't need to invest in all the training to, like, condition people when they're coming in already preconditioned, And now we got AI companies begging to have their particular AI put into our nuclear weapons and our surveillance cameras and our drones. Anyway, all that being said, autonomous AI stuff, terrible. Nuclear AI shouldn't have it. All of these are really, really, really bad ideas. Don't do it. And also, maybe watch the 1992 movie Toys. All right? Might be kind of stupid, might be kind of great. Also, watch Speed Racer. And with that, folks, if you got anything out of this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And also, we need to get organized, folks. Join your local Dems, join your local DSA. We need to organize against these AI data centers. So, folks, if you're interested in helping us out, get in the Discord, reach out to GamerG for help getting on board with your local DSA, reach out to Dragonfly for help getting on board with your local Dems and making them more progressive. We need far, far, far more progressive left-wing people in the Democratic Party so we can kick out these conservative corporate shills who work for the Epstein class. And all that being said, last but not least, check out ImogeneOlivia.com. Gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. Tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is comfortable, sexy lingerie that is non-tucking. And check it out. We have more colors, styles, and sizes coming in the near future. And please do check it all out. So, folks, link down in the doobly-doo. Let's keep on going.
Riverboat Jack is going to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, plenty more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord.